Yo, what's up, people? This is going to be C.G. Thomas movie and show review. As an actor, I actually look at things a lot different than what I would call a novice watcher. So my first film, like I'm always just getting into it. So the first film that I'm gonna do today is going to be the Tyler Perry film on Netflix. So Jazzman Blues. And spoiler alert, I'm not gonna can't give a full review if I don't give you the full get down. But Tyler Perry is the businessman, love him, black man support, blah blah blah. His artistic films or his artistic views don't coincide with mine, and that's fine. We're not a monolithic of anything. But this film, I can tell he tried. He didn't do the same trope, he did, but in different ways. But he didn't do the overtones of the church, and he didn't overdo the stereotypes with Medea, things like that. And I honestly feel that this film, guy bumping outside, I honestly feel that this film could have been so much better. He sometimes it may be involuntary with him, but I think he forces the strong woman narrative, and I feel that a black woman, just being a black woman, is strong enough. You don't have to insert it. You don't have to make them yell or fight or be loud, be boisterous. That's just overdoing it. An alligator is probably one of the most feared animals in the world. Doesn't make any noise ever. Doesn't scream. Doesn't yell. I mean, you got the lions roaring, but so some things could be subtle, but that's here nor there. But the film itself focuses on a family. It looks, like the sharecropper / slave era. A lot of plantation living, looking and speaking. But they're alluded to entertainment. They play instruments and singers, so I guess they never alluded to if there was a family band. But it showed individually everybody had musical skills, and just through the dialogue you could tell that was the stepdad. Willie Earl was the oldest son, and Bayou was main character, the youngest son, with the mother Hattie Mae and Bucket, Miss Leanne. So this is where it gets sort of confusing. So if you, like me, I watch it in dialogue and monologue. Everything that's said, I pretty much pay attention to. And as an actor, I can memorize a lot of things that was said. So the basis of the story is Bayou, the youngest son, falls in love with Miss Leanne, who is a light-skinned black woman who could pass for white. And this is when they're still on the plantation, so it never was explained why they had to sneak to see each other in the first place. We know that she lived with a mean old grandfather who molested her. And again, that wasn't explained why she was living with her grandfather. It was just as is. And then it never was really developed why. And like I said, we just knew through conversations or arguments that was Bayou's stepdad and Willie Earl's real dad. Willie Earl, who is very fair skinned, I guess could resemble the mom. Again, it's Tyler Perry's. He's big on the light skin, dark skin dynamic. That's majority, probably 90% of his films. But again, it's another topic. But so the father, stepfather, or the Bayou stepfather, but the father, they get in an argument. They never said about what, but I guess he put his hands on her. Had he made the mother, then he took all the money, left, said he was going to Chicago and was going to perform at, I think it's called the Royale. I want to say like a fake Copacabana, and he just left. And Willie Earl blamed Bayou for his dad leaving. He said, because you're so weak, you're useless, blah blah blah. And then later on, I didn't give a real time period. Willie Earl gets up and leaves and goes to Chicago to go find his dad. So now the house is as Hattie Mae and Bayou. Bayou still sneaking out to see Bucket, aka Miss Leanne. And Bucket one day told her that he loved her. And she froze him out, didn't talk to him didn't meet him up in a secret spot for God knows how long. And us, man, we've been through that. You know, you tell a woman you love her, and what, you know. So that was believable. That was really believable. But then that's when he sneaks out and he tries to find out what's up with her, sneaks her a house, and then he see her getting raped by her grandfather. He never brings it up to her, other than the letter that's reading, and we're gonna get back to that where we actually jump cut a little bit, but she finally met him up, and she was like, you know, I'm not a pure woman, meaning like, you know, I'm not a virgin, you know. And he goes, I don't care, I love you, let's get married. She agreed. So again, the time frame is not really that clear. We don't know if it's the next day, the next week. But Bayou finally tells his mother, hey, I'm going to marry Leanne. And Sissy was like, which was a helper, mother's friend, wasn't really sure. He goes, you mean Bucket? Oh, and, you know, Bayou, don't call her that. That's not her name. But she was like, yeah, but she's leaving right now. Her mom came to pick her up, and they're going to like Boston or something. So he was like, she never told me this, and he runs off to her house, and then her mother comes out and, you know, dragging her in the car, and Bayou screaming, please don't leave, I love you, blah blah blah. And then the mother said, I know what you did to my daughter, and I call the cops on you, I do this, whatever, leave her alone. Okay, then they left. Not saying it wasn't clear on the time again, but Bayou leaves for the military, and this is where I feel Tyler Perry missed the mark. So far the whole film, Bayou has been very weak, mentally, physically. You know, there's no aggressiveness, there's no real bravado about him. And I feel if Tyler Perry would have actually made this film to follow his journey into the military, that toughened him up, that's going to help him mature as a man, so when he comes out, he'll handle things a lot different. Didn't. Tyler Perry missed a hobo. All it said, oh, he's going to the military. Never showed any. It's almost like a student film. Everything has to be implied because they couldn't afford to do that. But Tyler Perry can afford it. So Bayou went to the military, and it was like a day. Because they just wrote a letter. Oh, and then I got hurt, and then I got discharged. My leg got hurt. Something happened with his leg or something. I can't remember what. But they didn't make it a big deal either. So after the military, he gets on the bus and he meets his mom and Sissy. They moved further up north. I can't remember where. But he didn't change at all. He just had a uniform on. He didn't change at all. He was still timid, a mama's boy, and still heartbroken and over Leanne. He never let that go, and he wrote letters every day, doing way too much. So they are in a town, I believe, like 3 or 4 hours away from where they originally were. So they escaped for a better life. So Sissy and Hattie Mae, Bayou's mom. So he moves in with the mother, and she has a juke joint. You know, it's like a almost like in the color purple when they had the little club, almost exactly the same. And Hattie Mae singing and this and that. And Bayou is like the bartender. Don't know how you learn how to make drinks, but you know, everything's implied with Tyler Perry movies. But so he's making drinks, and then Sissy is working. And this one threw me off too. Sissy is working for the sheriff and his brother, the mayor. She's like a not a live-in maid, but she goes in and out every day. So she's a maid, a cook, whatever. And Bayou has her drop something off to her. He went and dropped off, I don't know, some soap or something. And the sheriff or the mayor came in with his new wife. And long and behold, his new wife is Leanne, because she's light-skinned. She could pass for white. And she recognizes him, does this weird stare. Like, just not really believable. Nobody's going to react like that. Bayou reaction was normal. He saw her and then turned his back, like, oh shit, that's her. Let me get out of here, but she's over there overly staring like she's turning into a vampire or something. It was very not believable. But only thing that got me was like, she knew Sissy, and Sissy knew her, because Sissy called her Bucket, and when a couple years back, so that threw me off. I'm like, they already knew each other, so why, when Sissy said, hey, Leanne's over at the house, like, that didn't make any sense. A lot of stuff you can see didn't make sense with this. So, like I said, found out she's back. They start sneaking around again. And Sissy and everybody say, hey, telling Leanne, hey, you're going to get this boy killed. And even yourself. The mother's in the picture, and the mother, finds out about them sneaking around. And she did the Emmett Till thing, saying, oh, I saw this black guy whistling at my white daughter, who was black. And they go crazy. What? Where's he at? Da-da-da-da. Start go looking for him. And by this time, Willie Earl is back with a manager who was a weird introduction. It was like he was high on drugs or something. But Willie Earl's on drugs. But which is a thing a lot of musicians did in that time. So that's nothing new. Heroin, and that's, very time stamped reality. But so they go to Hattie Mae's to go find and kill Bayou. But Hattie Mae made him go into the car with Willie Earl and Willie Earl's manager to go to Chicago just to get away. So the sheriff and the mayor and everybody came to the house, and where's he at? And she was like, I don't know. They're leaving for California for work. And because the sheriff makes money off of the mother's juke joint club, he allows her to live, don't burn down the house. And it was just like, okay, he's not here. We go look for him. They never find him. And then some time passes, and everything calms down. Perfect. Now they're in Chicago, and Bayou becomes like a Cab Calloway, like a famous singer at a white club, at the the club that his dad wanted to perform at in Chicago. And got the name of it already, but the brother who wanted to be the star with his manager became second fiddle to his little brother. Now, granted, when his brother left, and I want you to remember this, when his brother left, when he said, "I'm going to go find my dad," he told his mother, Maddie, hey, you can't tell me what to do anymore. I'm 19. So if he's 19, I'm gonna say Bayou at the time was maybe 17. So they're probably a 17 and a half. Let's say they're about a year and a half apart. So just remember that. So Bayou was like 17 and a half. So would Leanne. Okay? All right, so now we're back. So going back to our original point, they were entertainers. The brother was second fiddle. Started to get jealous and getting out of control. The heroin was taking over. You know, he was falling down and all on stage, and they was getting ready to fire him. So, after a show, they had an altercation. Bio, beat him up. I guess that showed his army training, but beat him up, and Bayo was writing letters, sending money to his mother. And that's another thing that didn't make sense. So if the whole town is looking for Bayou, and Bayou's writing letters, and if you look at the letters on the screenshot, it shows a return address, it shows everything, where it's coming from, and the mailman looks, is taking it, oh, it's from Bayou. Wouldn't they be like, oh, this is where he is, let's go get him? Like, he didn't use an alias name. He didn't have his manager go down and send money to his mother to make sure she gets it, because they was taking the money out of the envelope every time. So his mother wasn't getting anything he was sending. So he was making good money at the club, thinking he's sending money to his mom and she's getting it. But he never saw that she never wrote him back. No, it didn't make sense. Like, I would have somebody else give that. I would have a manager who was white, and he would have done it, because he was looking out for Bayou and his brother. I would have said, hey, make sure my mom gets this money here. You go down there. He's a white guy. They're not going to even pay attention to him. But again, this whole film, Bayou acted like he was on the spectrum. And that's not a bad thing, but he didn't seem too bright. He didn't seem very intelligent. A lot of his decisions were just brash and unthought through. And when he found out that his mother wasn't getting the money, or his mother was nobody was coming to the club, she was doing bad. And like I said, instead of him sending his white manager to go down there, take care of everything, give her money, he was like, I gotta go down there. Even though he's a marked man. Even though it just made no sense. Oh, let me go down there and perform, and since I'm doing big up here, I got a name. Me performing down there is gonna bring everybody back and get my mom back on her feet. But if everybody's looking for you and the sheriff is making money off of the success of that juke joint, and they find out that you're coming, don't you think they're gonna come? It makes no sense. So of course they go down there. He's singing and performing, and now his jealous brother, the first thing he does is go to the sheriff. Hey, my brother's here. What? My brother's here. They come, snatch him out the club, shoot him, hang him. And then it pops up to, so this was in 1947 or somewhat. Yeah, he died in 1947. So they shoot back to 1987. Now, remember I said I did a jump cut. So in the beginning of the film, you got this old lady walking through the town, through railroad tracks, and just walking, and then she drops off a stack of letters to a racist white politician. She drops it off, and then she goes, I need you to investigate a murder 40 years ago. So turns out that was the son of Leanne and Bayou. But because she passed for white, he didn't know about his black son. So he thought he was white this whole time. And became a racist white dude, which is funny. But so she said this murder happened 40 years ago. So meaning that he's the son, the baby that they had. So let's say he's 39. It takes 9 months to have a baby. So let's say he's 39. You can even say he's 40. Now, reason why I bring that up is because sorry, some people outside. The reason why I bring that up is if he's 40, and we already said that Bayou and Leanne were the same age, 17 and a half, maybe even 18, that means that she would have been 58 to 59 years old. You could even push it to 60, but that's no, because Willie Earl said he was 19 when he left. So 58, 59. Okay? After he reads the letters and go through everything I just told you, now he realized, oh, my dad is black, so I can't, my mom is black, so that means I'm full black. I'm just light-skinned. So he goes back to the house to, show his mom that he read the letters and he knows everything. And when he gets there, Leanne looks like she's about 85 years old. She's wheelchair bound, super wrinkled, can't even move, just decrepit. And I'm like, if he's only 40 and she had him when she was 17 or 18, actually, you know what? I take that back. She could have had him when she was 20. Because, like I said, those years, he went to the Army, so 17, 20, even 21. She'll be 60, 61 years old. Hattie Mae was the mother of Bayou. So she could have been maybe 80 by now. So they shouldn't look the same. And Ashley Leanne looked somehow older than Hattie Mae. So that irked me. I'm like, she would not be that old. If he's only 40, 39 to 40, she may be 59 to 60. She won't be decrepit and all in the wheelchair and can't talk and move and, full of wrinkles. I'm like, and this is the thing that Tyler Perry does. He tries to overdo sensationalism to invoke emotions, but he does it at the expense of realism. And it was only from 1947 to 1987, 40 years. You know what I mean? That's like somebody who was born in 1980, and now 40 years to 2000, they're going to be decrepit, or are they going to get decrepit? I mean, look at our parents. Our parents ain't like that. And our parents are not, they just irked me. So, but overall, the story has so much potential. Bayou they didn't have real character development with nobody in this whole film. No one had character development. Bayou stayed the same from the beginning to his death. He thought on emotions. He was never logical about anything. Willie Earl was just mad for no reason. Like, for no reason. The dad was insignificant. We don't know what the dynamic was with that. If they had two different dads, what happened to the other dad? Hattie Mae was just a figure piece. She also didn't have a character development. I feel like if the film was maybe focused on Leanne and her struggles, it would have been a better film. A black woman passing for white, but she doesn't want to, but her mom wants her to, so they can have a better financial life. And her mom basically was a Kardashian mom, just pimping her off to any white dude just to get money, So just to have a better life, And this is just, I mean, the time period, the music, everything was great. And the acting wasn't too bad. It was just frustrating how it was written. So from 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I am going to have to give this film a 2.5. But like I said, big ups to everybody involved in it. Big ups to Tyler Perry for keeping the ball rolling. But I wish my brother had better advisors and not yes men around him, because this film could have been wow. This film could have been so awesome if just done right. Like, just don't know what to tell you, but it's a good watch. So if you have some time on your hands and you want to binge watch something that night, go ahead and watch it, and you should enjoy it. But those are things that irked me. Just the non-character development and the age scene that's not making sense. So, but this is a CG movie review. See you guys on the next film. Next film I'm going to be doing, going to get a little deeper, is going to be Jeffrey Dahmer story, the monster story, which I actually enjoyed, but a lot of people are missing the gems that film was throwing out in a subtle way. So catch me on the next one. Peace.